My name is Jessica Lee. Big Brother is watching us, and I am this year's DDA board chair for a little bit longer. I will go over details for today's meeting. DDA board members will participate by video and audio. Staff members and other attendees will participate via audio only. Other participants include DDA staff, Maura Thompson, Sarah McCallum, Jada Hallbrook, Kelly Graves, and Liz Rolla. Consultants from Smith Group are also participating in today's meeting. Thank you to members of the public who are joining us today. Your microphone will be muted during the meeting. There are 4-minute speaking slots at the beginning of the meeting for public comment, and time has also been set aside at the end of the meeting for public comment. Excuse me. The chat function is enabled for use by the DDA board members during the meeting to indicate you wish to speak. We ask that DDA members and staff members please identify yourself before speaking, and when not speaking, please mute your microphone. When it appears there's no disagreement, voting will be conducted by voice consensus. If it appears there is board member disagreement, a roll call vote will be taken. A reminder that during roll call, each member of the board must state that they are attending the meeting remotely and their physical location, including county, city, township, or village, and state where they are located. Maura, if you'll please kick us off with a roll call.
Sure. Micah Bartelme.
I'm here attending from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Tom Crawford.
Attending here from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Alex Deek.
Here, City of Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County.
Bob Gunzel.
Here, City of Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County.
Jihei Kim.
Here, Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County.
Tyler Kinley.
Present, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Marie Clough.
Here from Manistee, Michigan.
Jessica Lita.
Here, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Jonathan Massey.
Here, participating from Brooklyn, New York.
Molly McFarland.
Here, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Darren McKinnon.
Present, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
And Rishi Narayan.
Here, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
We have a quorum.
Thanks, everybody. Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the board meeting agenda?
This is Micah, so moved.
Thanks, Micah. Can I have a second, please?
Second, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. All right, any changes to our agenda today? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those
Aye.
opposed, please say nay. Okay, our agenda for today's DDA board meeting is approved. We did have one person sign up ahead of time to speak, and I see that there are other members of the public attending. Is there anybody who wishes, I'm sorry, we'll start with the person who signed up. Dave, can you please help me understand how to say your last name? Please say your first and last name, and then you have 4 minutes to speak.
Okay, hi, I'm Dave Conkle. Some of you know me. I am the former Ann Arbor Energy Office Manager, retired from the City of Ann Arbor. Now currently on the board of the Great Lakes Renewable Energy Association, past president of that organization. I came here to talk to you today representing an education work team for the Ann Arbor A20 program. We're a bunch of volunteers. We come from the Ann Arbor District Library, the Hands-On Museum, and the Leslie Science Center, and we have been working on ideas for renewable energy education for Ann Arbor as part of the A20 program. Because the library is part of the team, it occurred to us that the summer games for the library, kind of geocaching, finding locations, getting points kind of game, might be really good for renewable energy. Back in 2019, I had worked on a STEM grant with the Leslie Science Center, and we did a week-long day camp, summer day camp for 6th through 8th graders on renewable energy. Probably the most successful component of that was when we took these 14 students up to the roof of the 4th and Catherine parking structure, and then just looked at all the solar energy you can find once you get to that roof. We took that, library said they'd like to do, a renewable energy component to their summer games that would be localized sites within walking distance of each other, open to the public, no barrier walls, anything like that. And so we chose 3 sites. One was the solar energy at the farmers market, which DDA built. One was the solar carport across the street at the surface lot from the farmers market, which DDA built. And the third site, which we considered our crown jewel, was to have a site where people could go up to the roof of the 4th and Catherine parking structure. And from there, we would have signage and utilization of QR symbols to teach them about all of the solar energy. There are 7 sites that you can see from up there, some from the county, some from the city, some private, many of them DDA either funded or built themselves. But again, that was our crown jewel. We put this together. I made a presentation about it to the Energy Commission at their June 8th meeting this month. And we kept moving forward with it on June 21st. So last week, a group of us figured out, we needed to figure out where exactly signage could be put. Where at the farmer's market, where at the solar carport, where at the parking structure. And in connection with that, once we had done that meeting, I contacted Maura Thompson to ask about where we could put signage. Right here, I have to stop and I have to apologize to Maura because I worked in local government. I would never come in front of this board without talking to her about what I was going to do and what was going to happen if it wasn't that I didn't find out that the only board meeting between now and September is today. And I found that out last night. So Maura, really, I know that I should come and talk to you about what I'm about to do. And really, we're not complaining about anything. We're just asking a question. We have been up to that 4th and Catherine parking structure. I've taken student groups up there. We were up there just last week. One of the sustainability staff brought her daughter up there. I brought my dog.
1 minute.
It does not feel like it's dangerous up there. In fact, the daughter, when she got home, was bragging to her older sister about this adventure of being up there. It is really a special thing to go up there and see all the renewable energy. So if this is a policy that can't be changed or somehow we can't work with DDA to find a safe way to do it, fine. But I'm just here to say that we got this project going. We'll do the other 2 sites and more anyways, but I don't think Maura has the power to say, yeah, you can do it or you can't. So I'm just bringing it to the board and saying, I would love to take any of you up there whenever you want and see what we're talking about. Nobody who ever goes up there will ever forget the experience. It's pretty special. I guess I'm running out of time.
Yep, time.
And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Conkle. Kelly, can you help me see if there's anybody else who'd like to give public comment at this time?
I don't see any with their hands raised and no one has requested it.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, next up is reports from city boards and commissions. Peter Honeyman will give an update on last night's CAC meeting. Dr. Honeyman.
Hi, thanks. Peter Honeyman, I'm zooming in from downtown Ann Arbor. The Downtown Area Citizens Advisory Council met over Zoom last night on June 29th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Like our last meeting, much of our time was devoted to a discussion of public arts projects, this time inspired by the Ann Arbor Art Center's alleyway project. And once again, the vision of creative projects in public spaces was met with great approval, especially when public-private cooperation is central to the planning process. Discussion turned to past DDA efforts at activating downtown alleys, and hope was expressed that the DDA might revisit its apparently moribund Downtown Alleys program. Activating Alleys is firmly aligned with the vision of our friend, mentor, and muse, Ray Detter, who's always keen to emphasize connectivity in downtown area planning. We had planned to have a discussion of downtown area citizens parking experience, needs, and visions, but we ran out of time, and that was postponed to a future meeting. Thanks.
Thanks, Dr. Honeyman. Next up is DDA members, board members communications. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Okay, I just want to say one thing. I want to give a huge shout out to Kelly, who is managing probably our most complicated meeting this year today with much IT hardware and software. So thank you so much, Kelly, for all the work that you've done putting to make today look as easy as it is. I just really, really thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, at this point, I'll turn it over to Maura Thompson for the executive director report.
Thanks, Jess. Maura Thompson here. I just have a few things. First, as a reminder, our DDA Capital Projects Manager, Amber Miller, is currently on an extended leave. DDA staff are working closely with our consultant teams to ensure that projects move forward as planned. Amber, being the dedicated person that she is, worked very hard leading up to her leave to prepare guiding documents for staff and for the consultant team to follow in her absence. So we are working hard to keep up with all of the work Amber got off the ground. On June 14th, DDA participated in the Housing Commission's work session with City Council. The Housing Commission was giving Council an update of the progress of developing affordable housing projects on city-owned sites in the downtown. The DDA, City, and AAA-TA joined the Housing Commission to speak of the collaborative efforts on the 4th and Catherine site and on 350 South 5th. So we were happy to participate in that work session. And finally, as Jess mentioned, today is Jess Lee Taw's final two board meeting and annual meeting as chair of our DDA board. On behalf of DDA staff, I want to thank Jess for her leadership over the last year. Jess took the helm last July at what was quite an extraordinary time. This past year has been anything but business as usual. Under Jess's tenure, the DDA has navigated a pandemic, the retirement of our long-term executive director, a search for the next executive director, and an unsettling council resolution last fall threatening the DDA's existence. And these are just a few of the highlights. Jess has tackled a host of issues that have come up over the year, and she has handled everyone with equal thought and care. I have had the pleasure of working with Jess in my role as interim since last December, so I can personally attest to her dedication to the organization, to staff, and to our community. So thank you, Jess, for leading us through this very crazy year. Very much appreciated. And that is all I have.
I don't know any stronger words to say than thank you.
Welcome.
Whew. That was a good moment. Thanks, Maura.
My pleasure.
I'd now like to ask for a motion and a second to approve the June minutes.
This is Micah, so moved.
Thanks, Micah.
Marie, second.
Thanks, Marie. Any corrections to the minutes? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, the June minutes are approved. Next on the agenda are the DDA subcommittee reports, beginning with capital improvements. I'll turn it over to committee co-chairs Alex Deek and Molly McFarland.
Thank you, Jess. Okay, I will dive into this. And without Amber here, I'm going to lean on Jess and Maura and Alex a little bit to help me go through this. We have a lot of resolutions today that we're bringing to the board. So please let me know if you guys have questions along the way. So I guess there's no real lead in besides the consultants from Smith Group are also here, and they'll be able to answer any questions that you might have as we go through these. So the first resolution that we are bringing to the table is a resolution to support the people-friendly streets Part 2 recommendations for inclusion in the city CIP. Can somebody help me move that? And then I'm also going to ask for a second.
So Molly, you can count as the move. You just need a second.
Oh, just need a second then. I move it. I just need a
I'll
second.
second it. And then I was going to say, we have lots of these today, so let's not delay by taking a long time to move in second.
Okay. All right. I'll move them all. I just need seconds. All right, I'm going to run through this very quickly. So the bullets here, the committee reviewed the people-friendly streets Part 2 projects recommended for inclusion in the city CIP, Capital Improvements Plan. The CIP is a planning tool, as a reminder, and the DDA is required by the city to provide input. Projects include State Street improvements, Division Street Bikeway, Miller and Catherine Bikeway in support of AACH initiatives, 4th Avenue safety, transit, and resiliency improvements in the support of the AAHC and the AATA, funding for the study on two-way traffic restoration on 5th Avenue and Division. Projects meet the values adopted by the board back in 2020. They align with budget capacity of the Ann Arbor Housing Commission and the AATA and the DDA partnership. DDA goals of equity, affordability, and resiliency, and they received strong support in the community outreach that we held in March. Any questions on this resolution? I believe the full language of this is on page 18 too of the board packet, if I'm not wrong.
That's correct.
Yes.
This should be up on the screen, yes.
Okay, great.
Jonathan, if you wanted to jump in there.
Yes, thank you, Kelly. So Molly, I'm going to recuse myself from this resolution and the next one because my husband, Mark Norman, is a consultant on the 4th and Catherine project.
Gotcha.
So
thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks.
Thanks. All right. If there's no questions, then I guess we just move to a vote. Is that?
Ollie, this is Darren.
Yep.
I'm going to recuse myself for similar reasons as John.
Okay. Thank you, Darren. So then can I just move forward and ask all in favor, say aye? Is that?
Aye.
Okay, great.
Aye.
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 Great. All right, then we can move on.
Sorry, Molly, you do need to ask for
sorry.
nays.
Oh, and nays, sorry. Any nays? Great. I'm in
Thanks.
sales, guys. I do the presumptive close, I guess. Apologies for that. Okay, then I am going to move on to the second. So I'm going to move the following resolution to approve a Smith Group, Miller and Catherine Engineering contract. I believe that's contract. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay. So this resolution is for the Miller-Catherine project. It was identified as a high priority corridor and part of the important DDA partnership with the AAHC. The committee supports staff recommendation to advance the Miller-Catherine Street project to final design and construction documentation. Any questions from anyone on this resolution? And if you guys need me to read any of this out loud, I'm happy to. Otherwise, I will just leave it on the screen and I'll just read the bullets. No questions? Okay. Then with that, I guess I'll say an all in favor, say aye.
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 And are there any nays?
Sorry, Molly, this is a super minor point, but the yays and the nays need to be asked for in the same way.
I'm so sorry.
It's quite all right. We're all learning today.
Yeah. All right. So I said, are there any nays? Thank you, Jess. I'll get this
all good.
eventually.
So will we all.
Okay, then looks like we're good to move on. So a little bit of background for the next resolutions that I'm going to ask you for. There's a few resolutions related to Division Street construction. There are 3 resolutions, pages 18 through 24 in the packet related to Division Street construction, and 1 for a street light maintenance and repair cost share agreement with the city of Ann Arbor. There is at least 2.5 million remaining in the capital bond fund after completion of the street projects approved by the board back in 2018. These funds must be spent by February 2022 on similar improvements in alignment with the bond language. So the first one that we have, and forgive me, I'm just going to bounce around for a second. So the first one we have.
Molly?
Yes.
I shouldn't say move in second, sorry.
Yes, sorry. So the first one that we're going to move is the resolution to authorize a change order with Fonson Company as a contractor for the Division Street project. So I'm going to move that resolution and ask for a second.
Second, this is Jonathan.
Thank you. And apologies too, I'm toggling between the screens. So no additional background on this one, just what's up on your screen, the actual resolution language. Does anybody have any questions about this resolution? No? Okay.
Are we on the
and real-
Fonson?
yeah,
Are we
real-
on the Fonson or the Wade trim here?
Real quick, I think, can you go back, Kelly? It looks like, so the one that we're supposed to be looking at is the resolution to authorize a change order with Fonson.
Right, sorry, went ahead of page. So it
Oh,
should
no
be the
problem.
correct one up now. Are you seeing the Fonson one? Is that coming up?
Yep, that's coming
Okay,
up.
good.
Just letting
All right.
everybody sort of absorb it. The details are really in those last couple paragraphs about the $1.675 million change in the total cost of the project of that 10 million, 10.4 million.
And so just to clarify, Molly, we're discussing allocating those bond dollars from the First and Ashley to Division, so we use them up in the time that they need to be used, and that gets us further along in our Division project, correct?
Correct.
That is my understanding, yes. Anybody, Maura or Smith Group, if they want to jump in.
Yeah, this is Maura, that's correct. And you know, this resolution, we didn't have time to go out to bid. And so we're relying on this Fonson contract, which was competitively bid, and it allows us to use the unit prices that we already received for First and Ashley.
And those are unit prices based on material and construction work and labor?
Yes.
How far does that get us on the Division project?
It completes the project.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maura. Any other questions about this resolution? Okay, then we can go to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those not say nay. Jess is cringing. I didn't know how to do that one.
Not cringing, grinning, all good.
Okay, good. All right, moving on to the next one. So I would like to move the resolution to modify the Wade Trim contract for the Division Street Bikeway project. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. So same deal here. It's a short one. I'll let everybody read through it. It's up on the screen, and then we'll go to questions. Okay. Any questions on this resolution? Okay. Hearing none, we will move it to the vote. So all those in favor, say aye.
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 All those not in favor, please say nay. All right, passes. Thank you, everyone. So the next one, I'm going to move the resolution to approve an amendment to the agreement with Testing Engineers and Consultants, Inc. for material testing services. Please read over the resolution and then we'll go to questions.
Go ahead and have a move in a second.
Okay. I'm sorry. Can I move the resolution? Can I have a second?
Second, this is Jihae.
Thank you. Since this is a little shorter, I'll just jump right in and ask, does anybody have any questions on this one? No. Okay. With that, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Great, thank you. And all those not, please say nay. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. All right, 2 more to go. I'm going to move the resolution to approve a street light replacement and maintenance cost sharing agreement with the city. Can I have a second?
This is Mike, second.
Thank you, Micah. Okay, if everyone can read over the resolution if they haven't already on their screen, I'll give you a second and then I will ask for questions. Okay. Any questions on what you're reading on this resolution? Okay. Oh, hearing none. Move it to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those not, please say nay. Great, passes. Last one. So last resolution I'd like to move is a resolution to authorize an agreement with Stantec Consulting Michigan, Inc. for construction administration and engineering services.
This is Marie, I second.
Oh, shoot, sorry. Thank you, Marie. Okay, please read on your screen and I will ask for questions. All right, are there any questions on this resolution?
This is Jessica. No questions, but I just kind of wanted to give a cap summary of the 7 resolutions. I really appreciated the committee meeting where we can work through these in detail. I don't think I realized before coming to the DDA how much work was done in committee. So I just wanted to celebrate you and Alex and all of those discussions, but especially this last one because there was so much work.
There's a lot of conversation that went into these. I should have prepared more on the how you read them and not just the content, but appreciate everybody sticking with me on this one.
If you were going to short one, you shorted the right one.
All right, good. All right, then hearing no other questions or comments, let's move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any no's, please say nay. All right, it passes. Thank you, everyone. On top of the resolutions, we have a couple of updates. So First Street and Ashley construction updates. Milling and paving north of Huron will be underway over the next 2 weeks. Pavers at the Kingsley Bend will be installed beginning the week of July 5th and will take approximately 2 weeks. Ashley Street milling and paving from William to Miller will be underway over the next 2 weeks. Remaining work in July includes final paving, striping, and two-way restoration. We expect the striping to begin mid-July with the goal to implement the two-way restoration after art fair. Liz is available to answer any questions about these updates. Any questions? Okay, hearing none. The next Capital Improvements Committee meeting will be Wednesday, August 18th at 11 a.m. Thank you, everyone.
Good job, Molly. That was a lot. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the help.
Yeah, of course, of course. Next is the Operations Committee report. I'll turn it over to Committee Chair Darren McKinnon.
All right, I have a resolution I'm going to move and ask for a second. And that is the resolution to approve a contract with RAM Construction Services for FY22 parking structure repairs to establish a project budget.
Alex, second.
I was hoping Molly was going to second it, but okay. DDA and WGI staff have reviewed the proposed work for this year's scope and selected some urgent elements that would not be practical to be delayed. So if you may remember that we're trying to do only things that we really have to do because the parking system is still not generating the revenue that it had before the pandemic. So the structures we're looking at this year are 4th and William, 4th and Washington, and Ann Ashley. We did get 5 bids for restoration and maintenance, and I'm sorry, five companies attended the pre-bid meeting and only 3 submitted bids. RAM Construction Services was the low responsible bid, and the WGI reviewed their proposal and determined it was responsive to the proposal, to the RFP. RAM has been doing the work for us most of the previous years, and they've got a good working relationship with Republic Parking. So the committee supports the resolution to approve the contract with RAM. And if you have any questions, ask Jada. I guess we can take it to a vote then. Is that Jess's to do? Me.
That's yours.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Resolution passes. All right, we have now on your screen is the monthly revenue update. It is getting slightly better as things are starting to open back up. We're still nowhere close to pre-pandemic levels, but we're heading in the right direction. If you have any questions about these very colorful graphs, you can ask Sarah. Seeing no questions, we have some updates to the parking system. 5th and William lot will be reopened. That's the former Y lot, as it was known. It'll be reopened for parking. It was reopened to parking in 2018 for reserved permit only. We're going to be moving forward to creating a kind of a half and half system where it's permit parking for some of the people that have already had permits, and the remainder of the spaces are going to be hourly, and probably be transitioning to completely hourly if those permits were to get turned in. We're not taking permits away from anybody short term. It's fairly cost effective to put in some signs using the existing on-street or the app, enter your parking number and pay. And it was noted that the annual debt service is currently paid by the city and will increase significantly in FY23. So right now, where the city had a loan when they bought it back, and the city's paying that debt service, we're running the lot and getting a little bit of revenue. But in FY23, there's some decision will need to be made there, because it's going to get a lot more expensive on the debt side for that piece of property. Other updates: the Tree Line Conservancy completed a temporary trail pilot area on the east side of the 415 West Washington lot, which connects from Washington to Liberty Street, just to kind of demonstrate where that would be at some point if that lot were to get redeveloped. Loveberry lot remains closed to parking on Saturdays and Sundays to allow the committee for the Ann Arbor Community Commons to continue its gardening work. And town hall meetings on the RIDE 2021 service plan and fair proposal are underway Chris Simmons provided a full report the next operations committee meeting. Will provide a full report at the next committee meeting. And Republic Parking continues their preparations for the art fair, which is on this year. Any questions on that? Okay. We had a long discussion about parking permits. If you remember, those of you that were on the DDA a couple of years ago, before the pandemic, we had this concern about lack of monthly permits and the wait list, and there was a lot of hullabaloo associated with such an issue. The one favor the pandemic did is it eliminated any wait list. So anybody that wants a parking permit can pretty much get one at this point. But we discussed the fact that it looks like we're heading back to a busier time again, and anticipating the fact that there will be a shortage of those in the future, and what, if anything, should be done about it now to prepare so we don't get ourselves back in that issue again. So nothing was decided. It was more or less a discussion, and there are a number of factors, including things the Planning Commission is working on to address parking requirements from new developments. So more to come on that, I suppose, but good discussion was had. Other things we talked about was that we talked about whether or not we should look at increasing the hours of operation. As was mentioned, the revenue is down due to the pandemic, and we'll be digging out of that hole for a while, having over a year of revenues being well below normal. It'll take a number of years to get that back. Ideas that were thrown out there was parking on Sundays and or extending parking hours. Some of those discussions have been had in the past and been met with opposition from various groups downtown, including churches and businesses downtown. So again, no decisions were made. It was simply just a discussion for things to consider as we look at ways to generate revenue. Potentially a study could be done, but again, nothing was done to move towards that. And we do have a new system on all the parking garages, not the on-street parking spaces, but the garage spaces have this new TIBA system that is fully implemented and installed at all garages. And really happy to know that we'll be getting much more detailed reporting going forward, and it is very easy to get customizable reports from the new TIBA system. So I expect to see Rishi to start attending operations committee meetings now. I know he's got free time on his hands.
So you could just email me the reports now. This is great.
That's true. Then you wouldn't be able to have the questions answered in live theater. All right, the July operations committee is canceled because we're not going to have one. And the next operations committee meeting is Wednesday, August 25th, 2021 at 11 a.m. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Darren. Next up is the Affordable Housing and Economic Development Committee report. I'll turn it over to committee co-chairs Tyler Kinley and Micah Bertelmi.
Micah, I think we were planning to present this one. Pretty simple.
Oh, sorry, Tyler, I was on mute there. The June Ahead Committee meeting was canceled due to a lack of agenda items. We also have a cancellation for the July Ahead Committee. The next Ahead Committee meeting will be Wednesday, August 11th at 9 a.m. It is DDA only.
All right, thank you. Next up is the Finance Committee report. I'll turn it over to committee co-chairs Bob Gunsel and Marie Klopp.
Okay, so a couple of resolutions. One, I would like to move a resolution to adopt the DDA fiscal year 22 budget. Can I have a second?
Second, Alec.
So part of the process every year as the budgeting process culminates in we agree on it, it goes to city, the city approves it, and then we adopt it. So it has been approved by city council, and the final step is to formally adopt it by the DDA board. Does anybody have any questions? We've already gone through this, so it's really a formality at this point. So hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Great. The fiscal year 22 budget is officially adopted. Second, I'd like to move a resolution and ask for a second. I'm a little confused the way this is written, but it's a resolution to establish signatories. This is something that is done every year with the changing of the guard on the board. So may I have a second?
This is Molly second.
Thanks, Molly. So the Finance Committee reviewed the resolutions from the Bank of Ann Arbor to establish signatories for the DDA's checking and investment accounts. These annual resolutions are the same. I think I'm doing two resolutions at once, but I'm not sure.
Marie, they're two separate ones. One's just different, and there's a separate corporate authorization resolution that you'll move next, but it's all part of the signatories.
Got it. So this is something that we have to do every year so that there are people that can sign checks and make things happen at the DDA. So does anybody have any questions about that process or anything related to it?
Just a quick question. If we, obviously we're choosing an executive director in the next couple of months. If that person isn't Maura, I'm guessing we're going to have to come back and redo this with that person's name.
That is correct, but Sarah, you can weigh in on that?
Yes, I expect that's what we will need to do. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So all those in favor of establishing new signatories, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. All right, resolution passes. And the last one is a resolution. May I have a second to establish a corporate authorization resolution? Can I have a second?
Mike, I second.
These are annual resolutions. They're the same as last year, establishing the executive director, the deputy director, and the treasurer as signatories. Or do I have that wrong, Sarah? Am I supposed to talk about the third quarter financials?
No, you're fine. So that last resolution was for our investment accounts, and this resolution is specifically for the checking account. And that third name, the board treasurer, will be added once the election has happened in the annual meeting. So what we're approving right now is as to form, knowing that the treasurer's name will be added as well.
Anybody have any questions about that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Yay.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, the resolution passes. The other thing we did, like we do every year, is we reviewed the third quarter financials. We got the third quarter financial statements. It was noted that DDA debt payments will be on the fourth quarter reports. So there was some timing issues related to some of the numbers. The transfers are being made as needed from the parking fund to the parking CIP to keep the funds available as parking revenues continue to be monitored closely. DDA and RPS are doing an excellent job of managing expenditures to keep them in line with the reduced revenues in the parking fund and to maintain adequate cash levels. Thank you for doing that work. We reviewed the monthly expense registers and approved them. Preparation, it seems like we just go from audit to audit to audit, I suppose, but we are preparing for next year's audit. So we have our standard annual engagement letter from Yo for fiscal year 21 audit. As required by the auditing standards, we've received that letter and it's included in the board packet. No action is required. The audit will actually begin in August, and there will be no July Finance Committee meeting. The next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for Thursday, August 26th at 9 a.m.
Thanks, Marie. Next up is the Executive Committee report. The Executive Committee met in closed session this morning to review the recruitment report from GovHR. The closed session was permitted under the Open Meetings Act due to the applicants requesting confidentiality. There were 60 applicants who applied for the position. GovHR walked us through the applicant's information. In the open portion of the meeting, the committee approved the resolution to select a slate of candidates for first round interviews, identifying the number of candidates to interview. So those names have not been publicly disclosed yet. We are advancing 6 candidates. The new executive committee search committee, which we'll talk about more in the annual meeting, will conduct the first round interviews over 2 afternoon sessions, July 12th and July 13th from 1 to 5 p.m. Those interviews will be open to the public. After the first round interviews are completed, the search committee will select a slate of candidates for the second round of interviews. Those candidates will be scheduled to meet with staff on the morning of August 3rd, and a second round of interviews will be held by the full board on the afternoon of August 3rd. At that point, staff will provide feedback to the DDA board prior to the board meeting of August 4th, when we, the board, will consider selecting a new executive director. Are there any questions about that process? Okay. All right, very good. We also, an executive committee, reviewed today's board meeting agenda. The next regular executive committee meeting will be on Wednesday, September 1st, 2021 at 11 a.m. Is there any DDA new business to discuss? Okay, seeing none. Before we move to public comment, I'm just going to note that we're going to pick up with our annual meeting after we close this one. I'm going to ask that we take a 5-minute bio break. So after we close, 5 minutes, turn off camera, audio, whatever you need to do. And then in 5 minutes, we'll reconvene for our annual meeting. So I see that we have a number of members of the public joining us today. Thank you very much for being with us. If there's anybody who'd like to address the board, please use the raise your hand function in Zoom and I'll call on you, or Kelly will call on you more accurately. If you're attending by phone or audio only, please unmute your microphone and request a comment. Please state your first and last name and share your comments. You'll have up to 4 minutes to speak. Kelly, can you help me see if there's anyone who'd like to address the board?
I do not see any hands raised, Jessica.
Okay. All right. Our next regular board meeting will be on Wednesday, September 1st, 2021 at noon. Can I have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting, please?
So moved, Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler.
Second, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay. All those
Aye.
opposed, please say nay. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. I'll see you at 12:55. Thanks, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, Bob.
Okay. It looks like we've still got everybody, so that's great. Before I get started, Kelly, can you help me confirm? I see that the narrative identifies public comment at beginning and end. I thought it was only at the end. Can you help me clarify?
Oh, yes, I probably put it, maybe I did a copy over from when we were doing executive and you're going to do both, so I apologize for that.
Okay, all right, but procedurally and on the agenda, I think it's just at the end. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome back to the July 2021 DDA annual meeting. My name is Jessica Lita and I'm the current DDA board chair. I'll go over details for today's meeting. DDA board members are participating by video and audio. Staff members and other attendees will participate via audio only. Other participants may include DDA staff Maura Thompson, Sarah McKellen, Jada Hallbrook, Amber Miller, Kelly Graves, and Liz Ralla. Thank you to members of the public who are joining us today. I see lots of you with us today. Thank you. Your microphone will be muted during the meeting. Time has been set aside at the end of the meeting for public comment. The chat function is enabled for use by DDA board members during the meeting to indicate you wish to speak. We ask that DDA members and staff members please identify yourself before speaking, and when not speaking, please mute your microphone. When it appears there's no disagreement, voting will be conducted by voice consensus. If it appears there is board member disagreement, a roll call vote will be taken. A reminder that during roll call, each member of the board must state that they are attending the meeting remotely, excuse me, and their physical location, including county, city, township, or village and state where they're located. Maura, if you could please kick us off with a roll call.
Sorry about that. Micah Bartelme,
I'm here attending from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Tom Crawford,
Here attending from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Alex Deek,
Here, City of Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan.
Bob Gunzel,
Here attending in the city of Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County.
Jihei Kim,
Here, Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County.
Tyler Kinley,
Here, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Marie Clough,
Here, Manistee, Michigan.
Jessica Lita,
Here, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Jonathan Massey,
Here, Brooklyn, New York.
Molly McFarland,
Here, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Darren McKinnon,
Present Ann Arbor.
and Rishi Narayan.
Here, Ann Arbor.
Okay, thanks, Maura. Next, we're going to evaluate the DDA committees for fiscal year 22. I'm going to read each committee resolution from the agenda separately and ask if there's any discussion, and we'll vote on each individually.
I'm sorry, Jess, are you gonna do officers first or?
I'm doing officers first, which I just realized when I looked at the other
Okay,
sheet
sorry.
of paper. Nope, I appreciate it. All this tech and I'm still held hostage to my eyeballs on the sheets of paper. This is not a complaint. This is just I'm catching up with the times. All right, so we're going to kick off with nomination and election of DDA board officers for fiscal year 22. Nominations are made from the floor and their term of office is 1 year and begins at the close of this annual meeting. Can I have a nomination for treasurer, please?
Yes, this is Tyler Kinley. I'd like to nominate Micah Bartelme for treasurer.
Okay. Kelly, Maura, can you help me clarify? Do we need seconds for nominations?
Yes, you do.
Okay. All right, can I have a second, please?
This is Marie, I second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, we have a fiscal year 22 treasurer. Can I please have a nomination for vice chair?
This is Tyler Kinney again. I'd like to nominate Jihei Kim for vice chair.
Okay, thanks. Can I have a second?
Second, this is Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of Jihei Kim coming in as vice chair for fiscal year 22, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, thank you. And for chair for fiscal year 22, I'd like to nominate Tyler Kinley. Can I please have a second?
Second, Micah.
Thanks, Micah. All right, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. All right, congratulations, Tyler. Now moving into our DDA committees for fiscal year 22. Pursuant to our bylaws at our annual meeting, we evaluate our committees to determine whether they should be continued or dissolved, or in appropriate cases, including today, newly appointed. So we're going to start with reappointing the Capital Improvements Committee. And sorry, Kelly and Maura, I'm just clarifying the process again. So this is a move and a second situation for each one, right?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So I'm moving to reappoint the DDA Capital Improvements Committee. Can I have a second?
So moved.
Second, Jihei.
All right, there you go.
Thank you. All right, resolved. The DDA Board reappoints its Capital Improvements Committee. The committee provides oversight regarding the right-of-way capital functions of the organization, making recommendations and reporting out to the DDA Board. In alignment with the DDA development plan, it recommends the DDA capital improvement plan, related policies, project-based values and goals, and repair and construction contracts to the DDA board for their approval. In addition, it receives reports and assesses outcomes in alignment with policy statements and development plan goals. Any discussion on this committee? Besides that it is awesome and fun. Okay, very good. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, thank you. The resolution passes. Next up, we have a resolution to reappoint the DDA Operations, parenthesis Parking and Transportation Committee. Can I have a second, please?
This is Molly, second.
Thank you. Resolved, the DDA board reappoints its operations committee. This committee provides oversight regarding the parking functions of the organization, making recommendations and reporting out to the DDA board. Excuse me, in alignment with the DDA development plan, it recommends the parking CIP, parking rates, transportation grants, and parking policies and contracts for parking facility operations, maintenance, equipment, and improvements to the DDA board for their approval. In addition, it receives reports and assesses outcomes in alignment with policy statements and development plan goals. Any discussion on this committee? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, the resolution passes. I'm also going to pick up something that I missed on the last committee and this one. So for this committee, the operations committee, the co-chairs for the coming year are Jonathan Massey and Tyler Kilney. The other member of the committee is Darren McKinnon. I missed this on capital improvements. So going back one resolution, the chair of the capital improvements committee is Alex Deek. The other members of the committee are Jessica Letaw, Molly McFarland, and Darren McKinnon. Okay, moving on to the resolution to reappoint the DDA Affordable Housing and Economic Development Committee. I'm moving this, if someone could second.
It's Micah, second.
Thanks, Micah. All right, resolve the DDA board dissolves its partnerships committee and appoints instead its housing and economic development committee. This committee recommends DDA housing grants for approval by the board and works in support of the DDA's mission by finding ways to support the governmental agencies whose taxes are captured as part of DDA's TIF. Any discussion on the dissolution and reappointment of this committee?
My apologies, Jess, for not correcting that from last year. That was, I did not take that first line out. That's my apologies there. This
The
committee
first
was
line-
already.
That's right. We already did the
Right, the
dissolution.
first line, because
right?
we did. Yep. So my apologies
Okay.
for that.
That's fine. Do we need to
Just
amend the resolution?
Yeah, I think that would be prudent.
Yes, I
Jonathan.
think so. I can reword that. So, yes.
Mhm. All right, so we'll pick up on the language from the previous two. So resolved, the DDA board reappoints its Affordable Housing and Economic Development Committee. I'm moving that amendment. Can someone please second?
Second, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan. Any discussion on the amendment? Okay, Maureen Kelly, thank you so much for helping me with all this process on the fly. Do we need to vote on the amendment before voting on the resolution?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, all right. So if I could have all those in favor of the amendment to the resolution, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, returning to the resolution to reappoint the DDA Affordable Housing and Economic Development Committee. We already have a resolution and or a movement and a second on the table. Any further discussion of this resolution? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, the resolution passes as amended. Thank you, everybody. Next up, we have a resolution to reappoint the DDA Finance Committee, which I'm, you know what, hang on. Going back to ahead, the co-chairs of the Affordable Housing and Economic Development Committee are Ji-Hae Kim and myself, Jessica Lita. Okay, moving on to the resolution to reappoint the DDA Finance Committee. I'm moving this resolution. If someone could please second.
This is Molly.
Thank you, all of the seconds. All right, resolve, the DDA board reappoints its Finance Committee. This committee recommends financial policies to the DDA board for their approval. It provides oversight of the financial functions of the organization, including but not limited to accounting, budgeting, long-range planning, debt issuance, investment management, and purchasing. It approves the organization's monthly expenditures and serves as the unit's audit committee. Excuse me. It provides fiscal and fiduciary support and recommendations to the board and other committees as needed. Any discussion on this resolution? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, the resolution passes. The co-chairs of the Finance Committee are Marie Klopp and Micah Bartelme. The other member of the committee is Rishina Ryan. Okay, next up, we have a resolution to designate and appoint the DDA Executive Director Search Committee. I'm moving it. If someone could please second.
Micah, second.
Thanks, Micah. So I'll read this and then I'll explain it in English. Resolved, the board designates the DDA Executive Director Search Committee. The EDSC is an ad hoc committee which is appointed to carry out tasks to further the executive director selection process, including but not limited to making selection of a slate of candidates for final interview before the DDA board. The EDSC will operate with such board and staff input as may be useful until a new executive director takes office, at which time it will dissolve. So as a reminder, the board invested the executive committee last fall, I believe, empowered the executive committee to lead the search for the executive director. Given that the search is bridging our last fiscal year with this coming fiscal year, We discussed it and it was decided that it made more sense for the continuity of the process to have the current executive committee members continue as the ad hoc search committee members. So there's that kind of continuation of memory and process. It's anticipated that this will last for approximately 6 weeks. So we do have our new executive committee. The executive director search committee will do we report to the board or to the EC? I'm imagining to the EC since it's under that. That's an open question for anybody who knows how to answer it.
If I could, Jessica, I would say this committee would report to the board as any other committee does.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sarah, for the clarification. So that's the resolution language and a little bit of explanation. Any questions or comments on this committee? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor to appoint the DDA Executive Director Search Committee, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, the resolution passes. Our last resolution for our annual meeting is the resolution to reappoint the DDA Executive Committee. I'm moving this resolution if I could have a second.
This is Molly, second.
Thanks, Molly. The DDA Executive Committee is designated by DDA bylaws. Its members are the officers of the board, including the chair, vice chair, and treasurer, as well as the last former chair, who is a non-voting member, the executive director, who is a non-voting ex officio member, and the recording secretary, who is also a non-voting member. Bylaws establish that the executive committee shall fix the hours and place of meetings, make recommendations to the board, and shall perform other duties as specified in the bylaws or by the board. Resolved, the executive committee shall review the monthly board meeting agenda, oversees special projects, and be responsible for conducting the DDA executive director annual review. Any discussion of this resolution? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, the resolution passes. And as we had our election of the officers earlier in the meeting, we know who is on the executive committee. All right, we have moved through the business of the business. Thank you, everybody. We're moving on to public comment. I can see from our participants list that we do have members of the public joining us today. Thank you very much. I'll read out the instructions, and Kelly, I'll ask for your help in a minute, identifying whether anyone would like to give comment. If you're attending by computer or phone with the Zoom app, please use the raise your hand function and I'll call on you. If attending by phone or audio only, please unmute your microphone and request a comment and I will call on you. Please state your first and last name and share your comments. You'll have up to 4 minutes to speak. Kelly, can you help me see if anyone would like to address the board?
Do not see any hands raised, Jessica.
Okay, great. Thanks for your help. All right, we have come to the time. I will ask for a motion and a second to adjourn our annual meeting.
This is Micah, so moved.
Thank you, Micah.
Marie, second.
Thanks, Marie. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. All right, the motion passes. This meeting is adjourned. See you guys later.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
everybody.
Thanks.